If you're a struggling white belt, you're probably making the same mistakes that most other struggling white belts are making. Today, I'm gonna cover 3 mistakes that white belts make, 2 techniques and 1 mindset to help elevate and change the trajectory of your jiu-jitsu to be much more successful, much faster. If that sounds like you're in the right place. Let's dive in. This first one is very simple and common and easy to avoid, but so many new white belts do it, and that's turning away from your opponent, thus giving up your back. I understand why white belts and untrained people do this. They think that they can turn their back away, build a base so they're on their hands and knees, and then they can stand up and escape. It feels strong because you can sit forward and you can build up to your platform and then to your feet. But what you're doing is you're giving up your neck, you're giving up your back, you're giving up countless submissions from that position. You have to remember that your back is vulnerable because all your offense and defense is in front. Your arms face forward, your legs face forward. You can drop your chin to the front, okay? The idea I'm trying to sell you here is that your back is the most defenseless portion of your entire body. So the earlier you can eliminate the idea that you're gonna roll away and build a platform and stand up, the earlier you're going to stop getting choked so much. You're gonna stop getting your back taken so much. You're gonna stop being made into a highlight reel because you just give your back up, and it happens from all over the place. As we check the example, you can see that I am in side control with my training partner. Now, he knows better here. He's just being a good uki for the video, but in this example, he rolls away from me, thus giving me back exposure. I'm able then to cinch a seatbelt grip, and then I step my high leg over, pulling my heel into his torso area, which helps me acquire his back and then also helps me get to the choke. That opportunity was only presented to me because he rolled away and gave me back exposure. When I was a white belt, I started using a mental trick that helped me remember this. And I want you to pretend that you're a robot and you have an off button on your back. And if you show your back to your opponent anytime, they're gonna hit that button and turn you off for good. But that button only turns you off if they can see it and touch it. So you have to keep your back or that button hidden from your opponent at all times. You play this mental game or this mental trick long enough, you'll start to build the habit of keeping your back away from your opponent, which in turn presents all your offense and defense to your opponent at all times. And that's exactly what you want. And I just want to take a second to give my sponsor, X Martial, a shout out. On the mats, you've got seconds to react and sometimes even less. You train for hours to move with precision. Your gear should keep up. X Martial makes high quality, high performance no-gi gear. The fit is clean and the material durable, breathable, and built for battle. One thing I can't stand about certain no-gi brands is how quickly the material falls apart and how quickly the designs wash away. Literally every single one of my rash guards that I own from X Martial has stood the test of time. I've been training jiu-jitsu for 9 years and I still have rash guards that look brand new. And since we're talking about the designs, they're original, they're unique, they help you look good. If you're gonna go compete and you don't feel you look your best, you think that's helping you in your performance, you wanna go out and feel good about the person that you've built. And no-gi attire definitely helps with that. So if you want to look as good as me and probably even better, get over to xmartial.com and grab yourself some gear. I know you'd be happy you did. Look good, feel sharp, roll hard. Let's get back to the video. Next up, number 2, chasing submissions without having the position set. I want you to picture your jiu-jitsu game like building a house. Having positions set is like building the foundation. The house can't exist without the foundation. You can't do other things in jiu-jitsu until you can hold positions. The submission is basically the roof on top. You're never gonna be able to get the submission if you can't build the foundation, which is holding the position first. Now, the problem is white belts get really submission hungry because they spend a lot of their time getting beat up. And if you're a white belt watching this, you're probably nodding and agreeing. We've all been there, myself included. And as a white belt, once you learn a couple submissions, you get really excited to use those because your journey has been a journey of loss, which really is a journey of learning. But because you're so hungry to submit someone because you've been submitted so many times, Often, white belts can just disregard a position completely when they see an opportunity for a submission, and they will relentlessly chase that submission without having anything else in place. And then they wonder why it's not working. And of course, this is a full 360-degree topic. Certainly there are other things at play if you're not getting your submissions, if you're not finishing your submissions, but a big piece of the pie is not being able to hold a position first. So I think the best thing to do is cover some examples. So as we see here, my training partner is in my closed guard, but let's just say, for example's sake, he just learned the cross collar choke this week. Instead of getting to mount the position you need to finish this choke, he's trying to do it from inside my guard. If he were to try to get this cross collar choke from inside closed guard on someone who doesn't have any training, there's a chance he may be able to finish it. But if you have any bit of jiu-jitsu training under your belt, you know that going for a cross collar choke inside someone's closed guard is a big no-no. And as you can see here, I'm either finding a double armbar or I'm swimming for a single standard traditional armbar, all because he reached for a submission that he didn't have a position set for. Essentially, it's being so hungry for a submission, you just don't care about anything else. And that includes the position needed to finish the submission. Let's check another example. As you can see here, I'm in my training partner's closed guard. Now, he shoots for a triangle and I sit back. I am out of range of that triangle. The positioning isn't correct for a triangle, yet he continues to push for it. He's so hungry for that triangle that he's disregarding the positioning necessary for finishing the triangle. You have to have the positioning correct first before you can land or even finish this submission. And again, he's being a good uke for the video. He knows better, but all too often I will see white belts really reach, really push, really strive for that submission when it's nowhere near the correct positioning to make happen. This is one of the reasons why I like to film my own rounds and suggest other people do the same, because you can see bad habits that you're doing that you may not know you're doing in the moment. So with all that being said, stop reaching for submissions when you don't even have the position set yet. Get that position, hold that position, and then launch your submissions. Start doing that, and I think you'll see that your success rate will increase. Last but not least is the mindset tip I promised you. Now, as a white belt, it can be normal and common to feel like you suck. And oftentimes, to put it plainly, you do. I sucked as a white belt. We all go through it. But there's a difference at sucking with 10 years of experience under your belt versus sucking because you're new at something and you don't have experience and you don't have the knowledge. If you go get in a fist fight, you might be able to land a lucky haymaker and knock your enemy or your opponent out. Maybe. But if you throw grappling into the mix, you're never going to be able to throw up a lucky triangle choke. You're never going to be able to throw up a lucky arm bar, a lucky head and arm triangle, a lucky north-south choke, because you don't know these things yet. These are very technical processes that require systems to get to that end result, all right? So jiu-jitsu, being an information-rich martial art, makes it very difficult to learn quickly. Of course, there's phenoms out there. Some people will learn this stuff quickly. It's a very small number. You're probably just like everyone else. You're probably just like me, where it takes us a little bit, right? That's why usually it takes about a decade to get to a black belt. 10 to 12 years is the average term it takes to achieve your black belt. So try to be easy on yourself. When you feel like you suck, just remember that the journey of a white belt is to lose. You're building your defenses here. You're not going to be a submission artist. You're probably not going to be a takedown artist either. If you're someone who has some wrestling experience, then yeah, you'll probably be better than most at takedowns. If you have some judo experience, yeah, you'll be better than most at getting people to the ground. But for the most part, you're a beginner and you just need to treat yourself like that. It's okay to lose and lose and lose some more. One of the best ways that you can track progress as a white belt, when you feel like you suck, when you feel like, why am I doing this, is to count how many times you get submitted in class, especially if you're to the point where you're sparring. Maybe in your first class where you were allowed to spar, you got submitted 15 times throughout the period of the whole class or that sparring session. Now what you can do, the next time you come back, you can say, well, I'm gonna get submitted 14 times or 13 times. And you just consistently but slightly reduce that number and make that your new goal. You're aiming to be submitted less and less. And then before you know it, you'll be coming to class and no one's submitting you. You're almost building a bulletproof defense. That's the journey of a white belt. And that's a great way to track progress. So many times I see white belts getting down on themselves because they're not hitting submissions. What white belt is what white belt is, hardly any. And of course, yeah, you're gonna come across people who are talented in this stuff, but that's not the majority of people. And it's okay if it's not you. You have to give yourself grace. This is an information-rich martial art. Probably the most information-rich martial art, all right? There's a long, steep learning curve. So take your time, try to enjoy the process, and give yourself grace. Be patient and stay consistent because it does get better. And then eventually you'll get to the point where maybe you're a blue belt or maybe a 3-stripe white belt, 4-stripe white belt, and someone new comes to the door and they might even look scary. They might be big and muscular and look mean. They got tattoos, whatever it is, shaved head, whatever, and you play with them. This is someone who you'd see on the street and think, God, they're terrifying. But then you get them on the mats and you're like, they're not so terrifying. You're almost like a baby in my hands. I can do whatever I want. That feeling increases the longer you train in jiu-jitsu. The more knowledge you gather, the more abilities you develop, it just gets better and better. So hang in there, give yourself grace. Don't quit. Keep going. It is so worth it. And you guys have been training for a while. If you have advice for white belts, drop it in the comments because we're all learning from each other. This is a beginner focused channel. Sometimes we do some higher level stuff, but you get a lot of beginners that come through here. And you guys dropping your knowledge in the comment section always helps. I always appreciate that. And who knows, I may use your comment for one of my videos, which at this point, new videos are coming every Monday. So with that, you know how we like to end them, sometimes backwards, always forwards. I'll see you in the next one.